Solving inequalities by addition and subtraction. So when I start looking at this, this is a quiz question and something you really need to know. That is this chart. Okay, you need to memorize what this symbol means. That is less than, or this is greater than. That's less than or equal to, greater than or equal to, and what these other things, other words that also symbolize that. So that has to be something you memorize. You cannot think about that. Some of the things that people miss often are at least and at most. So make sure you memorize those, as well as when do you have a filled in circle, when do you have an open circle. Okay, so an inequality works when there's many correct answers, or a range. So it's not just one, you're looking for multiple things. It's always pointing to the lesser value. To graph, if the inequality is pointing towards the number, the arrow must go right. If it's pointing towards the variable, must go left. Make sure you study that part. Study that last point and write it down as I show you. Let's look at number 1. So we need to solve it and graph. So I'm going to treat this just like an equal sign. I have x minus 12. I want x by itself, so I'm going to add 12 to both sides. So x greater than or equal to 20. So now let's make the graph. Okay, so here's my number line. I know it's going to be 20. I need to decide, can x equal 20? This says x is greater than or equal to. So yes, it can. So 20 is considered a possible answer. Also remember that this symbol right here means you fill it in, the ones that have the equal sign underneath them. So it's greater than, so it's going to go this way, my arrow pointing to the right. Those are numbers that are greater. Another way to think about it, it says if the inequality is pointing towards the number. Here's my inequality. All I have to do is make that into an arrow. It's pointing towards the number, so the arrow must go to the right. Here it's to the right. Let's try number 2. So here I need to add 8 on both sides. 30 is greater than m. Okay, so I added 8 to both sides. I have m by itself. Now I need to see, should I fill it in or leave it open? So look up at your chart. It cannot be equal to, so an open circle. Now I need to decide, does my arrow go left or does it go right? So I'm looking right here. If the inequality is pointing towards the number, it must go right. If it's pointing at the variable, so if I think about this, make that into an arrow, it's pointing at the variable. So the arrow must go left. So there's number 1 and number 2. Okay, let's look at number 3. So I need to solve. I want to get all my variables to the same side. I have x over here, so I'm going to subtract 3x on both sides. Remember, that's on both sides of my middle line here with the inequality. 6 less than or equal to 1x, which is x. So now I need to graph. Use your chart. Should this be filled in, circle, or open? It can be equal to, so it's filled in. if it can be equal to, if it has that, it has to be filled in saying 6 is a possible answer. X could be equal to 6. So which way does it go? Well, if I look at it, it's pointing at the number. If it's pointing towards the number, the arrow must go right. And last one. I'm not going to graph this last one, I'm just going to set it up for you. You have a word problem. He needs the temperature in the gecko's cage to be at least 82 degrees Fahrenheit. This is when you need to memorize one of those things. At least 82 degrees. So currently it's 65. And how much warmer? So 65 plus how much warmer it needs to get. So this is how much warmer. Is at least 82. So then you can solve that to figure out at least how much warmer. But this is why it's an inequality. Because it doesn't just have to be 17 degrees warmer. It could be 18 degrees warmer and that would still work. Or 19 or 20. So make sure to study these notes, take the Edmodo quiz, and add annotations so I can see that you are writing what this stuff means.